Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with another episode of the Strafing Run, of course designed to keep you up to date on a fairly regular basis. Today in the background, it's been a while, but we've got some Battlefield 3 close quarters. Unfortunately, it's normal mode, but what happened was I was on Ventrilo with some friends of mine, Warheart and the gentleman you know as T. They were just playing some close quarters. It sounded like they were having fun. I thought, well, you know, let me fire this bad boy up and get in there and join. And so we did. And, you know, had a lot of fun. Again, I don't like normal mode. I despise normal mode. I hate the amount of bullets it takes to drop somebody. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, again, we still had a lot of fun. It's just madness. This was a 64-player close quarters server. And as most of you know, it's only supposed to run at 32. So you can imagine how crazy 64 close quarters is. The rule of thumb was basically play it like Quake. Jump in there, go nuts, just deathmatch your way out and try to survive. There was always lots of spawn killing and medic revive kills, and it was just bonkers, as you can see here. And this is, of course, edited a little bit because I had over an hour plus of footage. We played for quite some time. You'll see us mostly just defending specific points and objectives, trying to hang together as a team, call out targets and whatnot. So that's what makes it fun. Playing by yourself is typically a joke on a server like this, but if you're with buddies, it's just such a good time. But trying to get those Twitch skills back in, as you can see. So anyways, speaking of Battlefield, and of course having seen a lot of the gameplay footage of Battlefield 4 at E3, I wanted to bring up the topic of dedicated servers. And this is something I've been thinking about for quite some time in regards to the SideStrafe community, as running a dedicated server. One that would be password protected, one that would be running rules that I approve of and that I think my community would enjoy compared to some of the public riffraff that you generally find out there. So the idea is find a game. What game would best suit my needs? And yes, it would be Arma 3. However, Arma 3 Alpha is not currently in a state that I deem worthy of me paying for a server. There are far too many memory leaks. A lot of the big name server providers don't even want to deal with Arma 3 Alpha yet. There's only a handful of server providers. No, me hosting a server out of my own house with my own bandwidth is not an option. Obviously, I upload videos every day and I need my bandwidth, and I don't have a spare machine to run a dedicated server, and it takes a lot of heavy hardware to actually run Arma 3. Heck, it takes a lot to run Arma 2. That's why Arma servers are more expensive than regular servers. Sometimes they're $2 plus a slot, where generally other games are $1.50 or under, depending on, you know, what engine, because the server hosting companies, they have to look at it like, okay, you know, how much of our resources and bandwidth is this taking up? Well, if it takes up a lot, we got to charge more for it. So it depends, you know. There's some smaller outfits out there that might charge less, but generally, the Arma servers are expensive. And quite frankly, I don't want to pay for Arma 3 Alpha hosting when the game just doesn't run well at all online. So we'll look at that in the future. I know there might be some disappointment out there, and yes, Arma 3 is the game that makes the most sense for me. It has the realism and the gameplay that I'm looking for, but right now I just can't trust it to run well, and that's just, you know, that's something that goes against my standards. So with that said, I've been considering Battlefield 3 and of course in the future Battlefield 4, of course with hardcore settings. We're talking longer respawn times, extreme lethality, meaning lower health percentage to start with. You know, just put in the rules that we need. Run the maps that I feel really scream Battlefield, which means, you know, some of the Back to Karkin stuff, the bigger maps, some of the Aftermath stuff I think is okay. You know, even close quarters would be fun with great realism settings. I think half of the issue is that the respawn times just need to be longer, and the ballistics need to be a bit more lethal. And then I think with a good community server that's password protected, you might see just better gameplay, people that are like-minded, people using tactics, playing together as a team. It could be an interesting scenario. And the password, of course, would be rotated, maybe change the password out every week, perhaps put it up on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere where, you know, the community would only see it. And it would help keep some of the riffraff out, you know, some of those strangers that just want to do nothing but grief. And it would be a heavily monitored server. I would have a couple of my close friends with admin passwords, and we would, you know, kick and ban the people that want to cause trouble, you know. So I think that's what it's about. I don't think that Battlefield is necessarily a bad game. I think the community just went south. But if we could control that community, control that server, maybe this game could actually be something different. And of course, let's face it, I'm just kind of excited about Battlefield 4 and its potential. We'll have to see how that goes. You never know. It may just have a lot to offer in regards to gameplay mechanics. I am excited about Commander Mode. That looks amazing. I almost want to just buy an iPad for Commander Mode, because I miss Commander Mode from Battlefield 2. That was always a lot of fun. I was really disappointed when they removed it. Plus, it's also got a new spectator mode, and that would help me just for what I do in general. I mean, to be able to spectate and provide, you know, live or post commentary. I'm curious to see what kind of battle recording potential they have. I don't know if they've stated that that's what they've released, but you know, lots of potential there with Battlefield 4. And let's face it, the game sounds good, looks good, plays well with the general mechanics, animations, feel of the game, control has always been a cut above the rest. So I will keep everybody up to date on that. I will, of course, make a video stating whether I've got a dedicated server up or not. I know some of you have suggested allowing you to donate to a dedicated server fund, and I definitely appreciate that. The only downside to allowing the public to donate is that I could never guarantee a slot for everybody that donates. Obviously, if it's a 64-player server, there's always more than 64 people that are interested in donating or playing, and you know, I don't know how it would make that fair. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think it would mostly have to be for people that understand that not everybody would always have a chance, unless we got so many donations that there could be multiple servers or something. But I don't know, I'm thinking too far ahead. I don't even know that this is going to happen yet. I want to talk to a couple of server providers, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, most of the discussion has been about Battlefield. Let's switch it up real quickly. This will probably be a shorter strafing run, but World of Tanks, real quick. Obviously still having a lot of fun with that game, working on the some of the German tanks again, going down the medium line. But that's not really important. What is important is a lot of people have been asking me about the Xbox 360 version of World of Tanks, which is of course going to be kept completely separate from the PC version. So I don't have an Xbox 360. I'm never going to have one again. I had one. I sold it a long time ago. I'm not going to purchase one. Obviously, I don't plan on playing it. And even if I did have one, no offense, I wouldn't play the World of Tanks Xbox 360 version. It doesn't make any sense because I can run the game fine. It looks great on my PC. I got my mouse and keyboard controls. There's no way I would ever play the Xbox version. It just doesn't make any logical sense. And I know a lot of you feel like, well, you know, a lot of us can't afford high-end PCs to play games. See, the thing is, if you turn down your graphics settings to what's running on the Xbox, you could probably play the game just the same way that you would be playing it on your Xbox. Just saying. I mean, that's how it works. That's why PC games have options. They're optional. Doesn't mean you're supposed to jack up all your settings because it's on the PC. No. Turn your settings down to what the Xbox has, and you're probably going to play it the same way, if not better. So think about that. Just go through your options and drop things. Yeah, it's not going to look as great as what you might see in some of my videos, but it's still going to be playable. Try it out sometimes. If you're not familiar with settings, just go do a Google search for World of Tanks graphics settings guide. I'm sure you'll find somebody who's going over all the options. But there's that. But again, no disrespect intended. I don't have an Xbox, and two, I'm just not interested in playing a port or a version of a game that I already have on the PC, because as you know, I am PC first. But talking about consoles, obviously, I'm a PlayStation guy. I've got a PS3. I love it for the titles that it's provided me over the years, and I will be buying a PlayStation 4. I will be taking a look at some of the titles that it has to offer. I am very excited about, you know, what they're doing. I think they smashed Xbox at E3. I think they smashed everything. Funny thing is Xbox did it to themselves. I mean, Sony really didn't have to do much except remain the same, and you know, I think that they might potentially win this next-gen war. Nintendo's just still being Nintendo. All they do is rely on their first-party titles. If they didn't have Mario, Zelda, Metroid, whatever, if they didn't have those things, they would have nothing. Honestly, I've said this in the past. I think Nintendo should go the way of Sega and just make their games for everybody else, every other console, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's no disrespect to Nintendo. Obviously, they've made titles that we've loved over the years, but there's no point in them having a system. Why? They're less than stellar consoles compared to what else we can play. Imagine getting your Mario Kart, Mario games, Zelda, whatever, on a high-end system. That would be great. But, you know, they're stubborn. They'll continue to make consoles. They'll try to innovate, but it's just, I don't think it'll be something that I'm necessarily interested in, because I had a Nintendo Wii. It didn't last me very long. I played my Mario Kart game on it, was done with that, and then I never used the thing again. So there's that. But PlayStation 4, yes, I will look at possibly, maybe in the future, actually putting some console PS4 footage on my channel, depending on what kind of games we get, because obviously my standards in quality will be finally matched, I guess, in regards to console footage. We'll get to see stuff that is 1080p with you know, better motion and frame rate, and something that will just be more acceptable to me. And, you know, hopefully being able to record console footage will be a little easier. I have the capability with my Live Gamer Portable, so once I figure that out, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, you might see PS4 content on the channel. And if you want my professional opinion, or old man opinion at this point, in regards to choosing a console, I say stay away from Xbox One. I don't think they're going down the right path. Get yourself a PlayStation 4 if you have to choose. And I think you'll be a satisfied customer. I think that they are catering towards the hardcore gamer. I think that's the way to go. So there it is. For those of you that have been asking, PlayStation 4. That's the path I am on. Beyond that, E3 in general, there are a couple of games that I am excited about. Unfortunately, some of them are console only. Destiny, obviously made by Bungie, looks fantastic. I'm extremely angry at them. I have a big grudge against Bungie over the years, mostly for taking Halo away from the PC and Mac. As most of you know, in 1999, it was announced at Macworld 1999 by Steve Jobs even, that Halo was to be this new Mac title. And then eventually it was supposed to be a Mac and PC title. And everybody was excited, and I bought a new video card just for it. And then Microsoft came along and said, oh, hey, how would you like to make your game on our Xbox? Here's all this money. Sellout happens. Game could have been so much better than it was. But anyway, that's another argument. Entirely. I could probably talk about that for hours. But so yeah, I got a huge grudge against Bungie for selling out like they did. And here's Destiny now. That's going to be on PlayStation and Xbox One, but not PC. And I don't get it, because they've broken away from Microsoft. They're not their publisher anymore. They don't own the rights to this. They could make a PC version if they wanted to, but they're choosing not to. Huge mistake. Gigantic, huge mistake. I don't get it. It'll never make sense to me. It's laziness. It's stubbornness. I don't think they care anymore. They don't care about where they came from. And that really ticks me off, because their game looks phenomenal, and I'm probably going to buy it anyway on PS4 just because it's just insane looking. We'll see. The scale looks crazy, and I can imagine playing it with my friends. I hate playing shooters with a controller. I think it's the worst control set that you could ever use. If they'd allow me to use a mouse and keyboard, I'd at least be a little happier about that, but there it is. So yes, Destiny, I'll probably end up owning it. It still looks fun. Tom Clancy's The Division. Which is funny because they just slapped Tom Clancy's name on anything. It's not like he's tied to it. Obviously, the guy sold his name to Ubisoft a long time ago, so they can just put his name on whatever they want. Looks like a cool game. I think that is console only as well. I don't think there's a PC version of that. That also ticks me off. I hate Ubisoft in general because they always do that. And then when we do get a PC version, it's some crappy port. So that's another thing I'm a little disappointed about because that looks kind of fun. There's a couple of other games out there. The names are escaping me at the moment. What's that other Ubisoft title? I think is actually going to hit PC. I can't believe I can't even remember the name of it, but what is it? Let me think. I don't know. Watch Dogs, I think. I think that is going to be on PC. That looks cool. That could be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But I don't know why that would be on PC, but The Division isn't. I don't know. So there's that. Always keeping an eye on the Splinter Cell stuff, but not too excited about that. Not too sure just yet. Always keeping an eye on the exclusives and hoping that maybe the developer will smarten up and just give us a PC version. You know, I'm glad that with these new systems I will get the performance that I demand and the quality graphics, but I'll still never get the controls. They never want to give you mouse and keyboard support, and I think it really should be the gamer's choice. You want to play with a mouse and keyboard? Sure, you'll probably tear people up in a shooter, but hey, if everybody's allowed to do it, then what's the problem? So I don't think it's a balance issue. Oh, you're getting beat by a guy with a mouse? Well, go buy a mouse. I don't know what to tell you. Why is that a problem? You know, otherwise, sure, with all these great new innovations and technology, the console would be a nice place to hang out. But, and I really wouldn't mind it. It's just that control. I need my mouse and keyboard. I really do. There are some things that are just always going to be best on PC. But, beyond that, looking at some RTS, of course, Company of Heroes 2 comes out officially on the 25th of this month. I already own it. I've pre-ordered it. I'm having a lot of fun with that game in beta, and I think a lot of you are enjoying some of the footage, so I'll continue to provide footage for that as long as it's something that I'm having fun with. Perhaps I'll have some more games with friends once we teach them a thing or two in regards to playing the title, me, myself included. We all need to learn. We've got a long ways to go. We're still pretty green at that title. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed some of this Battlefield 3 madness in the background. Maybe we'll throw some Battlefield 3 footage, and then, of course, eventually some 4 footage. And you can enjoy that insanity as well. So I think I've covered most everything. I'm sure I've forgotten a few things. That'll be it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next one.